I accidentally rolled
switch those,
just
yeah.
to do.
Yeah, it doesn't remind you of that, so you can go switch that whenever. But that's 3 successes, which is enough for you to tell. You know his home, you know his office, you know his regular bar. You know he never goes to any of those places without a couple of guards.
And where are each of those?
Those are all within the actual Hollywood area.
Alright, well, he tends to stick around Hollywood. I assume his home is up in the hills?
I'm pretty sure the actual location of the hills got really degraded after the twins. Most richer people moved into Hollywood and into downtown.
Huh. Alright.
In that case, in that case, I guess Vice would pop up too, like, yeah, I know where he lives. What?
Yeah,
Vice will actually know where his bar is. Probably wouldn't know where his home is, but you'd also know that there are mages near him. Not something Twitch would pay too much attention to, but it's something Vice might know a little bit better. There's usually at least one mage somewhere nearby him for protection, and that mage has come out on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, I know where his home, his office, his bar are. He usually has bodyguards around him. He's cautious, I suppose.
Yeah, but doesn't he also usually one of his bodyguards? Isn't like one of them a mage?
Twitch will give Vice a funny look and just sort of shrug.
Would make
Maybe.
sense. Would make sense for a man in such a prominent position to have one, if not multiple.
So that's something to think about. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
There's a rumor that Coleman, the guy who made me last time, there's a rumor that he might be magically inclined. But based on what I know about him, I'd guess he's more like you, Vice, than like you, Truthsayer.
Something to watch out for, I guess.
Anyone have any idea what kind of security we'll be looking at? We don't even know we're supposed to hit this guy yet, do we?
No. We've got a time, but knows where he'll be at that time.
We'll have to establish our own surveillance in order to choose a location of where we can take him. Given our lack of familiarity with his haunts, and what do you know about that bar he goes into? Is it one of those damn, like the Angels and Demons plays with the pedo direct that none of us are ever going to be able to bypass without a faux ID?
Now, I suppose I should roll bars and clubs with the Mafia specialty?
Go ahead and roll that. I can tell you straight up, yeah, it is exclusive. It is members only. That's something you won't need to roll. It is, well, 2 successes, that's average. Yeah, it's exclusive, and it is members only. You have to have membership ahead of time, and you have to get a recommendation to be allowed in. So you can't just buy membership. Someone has to recommend you to come in.
Yeah, it's an exclusive place, members only, and you only get membership with a recommendation. I may have had one at one point, but that's kind of run dry now.
What part of town is it in? Is it busy? Would a drone stick out? Could
But it's in Hollywood.
Drones, basic surveillance drones won't stick out anywhere in Hollywood or downtown. It really depends on who sees it and why, but going inside will be almost impossible for a drone.
Yeah,
It's,
I figured.
Yeah, it's not going to get inside. For all, I'm not sure they might even have wireless blocking, but it's Hollywood. It's yeah.
Yeah, I just figure if at all possible, we might try to keep eyes on him, since, I mean, it'd be nice to know at least his pattern if he has any, and know where he is if we're given the order. So.
Well, based on what our Johnson was saying, in the next couple days, any pattern that he might have had is going to be completely thrown out the window.
Exactly.
We definitely need to keep an eye on him to figure out where he's going and when. I'd almost suggest trying to hide some kind of tracker on him, but I'm sure that'd get picked up by security goons.
Yeah, and even if not, it'd probably be blocked wherever. I mean, we might know where he's at, but not where in the location he's at. Which, just an aerial drone will tell you the same thing.
Sounds like this necessitates some old-fashioned surveillance with people actually watching him.
We're gonna have a hard enough time getting to one of his haunts without getting made in Hollywood, aren't we? I'm not exactly that familiar with Hollywood either.
Honestly, people are as likely to think that wearing costume as anything in Hollywood, as long as we're not too suspicious, not running silent or anything like that. We should blend right in. Except me, of course.
Trish there sort of quirks his head at Twitch. Might be able to get something to alter your appearance. Gotta be a salon around here somewhere that has the goop that transmogrifies your face. Might
Or
be
even just some kind of latex mask. Yeah.
Probably be a pretty good idea.
I mean, absolutely, I agree. I should do that before we get started on anything, just in case I get made even at a distance. But something else to keep in mind is that that lieutenant, the problematic one, he's got it out for elves anyway. I might still catch his attention just because of the ears.
Be familiar enough with you to recognize you based on mannerisms, Twitch?
Nah, I doubt it.
Well, you said this guy's a philanthropist, right? Might just do a quick matrix search and see if he's got any events in the next couple of days. We might be able to pick up might be a place to follow him from, give us a lead. And with that, Coyote will do a quick data browse.
That's a pretty good
Go
idea.
ahead.
That's a pretty good idea, Crypts. I thought of doing a data search. I didn't even think about the fact that there might be an event.
Twitch will say,
ahead,
yeah, that's a good idea.
Go ahead and switch your roles so it's visible to you two, and go ahead and roll that.
Just to you mean?
No, switch it so it's everyone. You can go ahead and switch it back so it's everyone. Just making sure you don't forget. And Truthsayer can go ahead and roll another 28 dice after that. And
Nice.
and Coyote gets another 36 after that. So that's a total of 13 hits for Truthsayer.
And fuck it. Twitch will search too.
Yeah, and if you figure out the whole thing with how many dice extra you throw, you can just throw me out whatever it is.
It's dice factorial, right?
Yeah. Just throw me the first one first in case you glitch or critically glitch. But I'm only counting the first one for glitches. I'm having trouble with basic math. 19 dice, or 19 successes for Coyote. That's in the higher range, so anything Truthsayer figured out Coyote would probably too. And same thing with Twitch. Well, Coyote will figure out that, week ago, pretty much everything stopped. I mean, seeing up till now, it looks like they're having regular things, meetings, whatnot, every single, like, every other day, maybe every 3 days or something. About a week ago, those just flat out stopped. And then seems to have gone completely off, and then they started up, well, he won't have anything planned, like he doesn't seem to be going anywhere until tomorrow, where he's going to, some party or something, high-end downtown, like some party in a penthouse or something.
Do we know the event or where the building is or anything like that?
Yeah, you'll be able to figure out the event. It's a private event for some higher-ups, some famous people, just generally celebrities and people that hang around them. But there's about a week gap in there where it just seems to have disappeared. And he does use Pedo, so he uses what is essentially Twitter, and again, that looks the same thing. It just stopped a week ago and starts back up.
Coyote will note it. He'll say, looks like maybe the kerfuffle going on with the Mafia spooked him a little bit, or maybe who knows. He's been out of the news and off his feed for about a week, but he should be going to some kind of hoity-toity party tomorrow night in this building, and he'll name it wherever it is. So we could probably pick up the scent there.
Something else we should keep in mind. If we can get close to him sometime in the next day or two, we could dose him with some sort of slow-acting poison, something that wouldn't show up on a normal test, like I don't know, like a delayed release.
How would we do that?
Out of
though?
character, she's talking about carcerans.
Right. I mean, I don't know if Coyote would know that exactly or not, but he gets the idea. He's just trying to think of, well, he's not going to fit in those circles at all. Truthsayer probably is the closest, so he'll glance that way, but he'll shrug and say, I guess if you can get someone that close.
How are you going to get someone that close if, given the destabilization, he or at least his bodyguards might already be on edge? In order to actually avoid any sort of suspicious brush-in with him, you'd have to actually get him where his guard might be, at least his attention is focused elsewhere, which would be the exclusive bar or the party. If we somehow manage to get invitations as celebrity hanger-ons, but none of us have any pedos, and that might be exclusive invite only as well, like the bar.
Well,
Exactly.
if there are any if there's any elven women invited, they make smart masks. Wouldn't be too hard to put together a disguise. Then it would just be a matter of making sure that the person I'm duped as is sufficiently delayed.
Occupied. We'll say occupied.
Or, I don't know, make someone else look like a professional athlete or something. We can sneak into a party.
Alright, maybe any information about dress attire or any sort of event or what the waiting staff might look like? Any idea information who might be hosting the party, Coyote?
I don't know. Do I get that info?
With the success you would have gotten the who was hosting it. And you would have gotten caterer and who's catering it.
Yeah. It's put on by that guy, and these people are catering it.
Well, I have a few avenues. We could try to go in as waiting staff, blend in. They might not exactly ask too many questions about us in particular. The waiting staffs themselves might be curious, but maybe there was some sort of, what was the word the Coyote used, kerfluffle, which would have caused a change or an addition to staff, unfamiliar. Or we can try to trace down another one of these people who might be present at the party who isn't quite as security conscious, an elf woman who is capable of lending us her credentials.
Or an orc man, or a human man, or a dwarf, I mean.
Right.
Sayer sort of narrows his brows and glances over at Coyote, looks back to Twitch like, I'm not so sure whether Coyote is the personable type. No offense, Coyote.
None taken.
Hey,
not much for parties.
For all we know, there's an unpersonable dwarven actor. Even if he's not too personable, I'm pretty sure he can pull off prickly.
Yeah. As for guest list, here is who might be at the party. I mean, I don't know if I got anything, but Sean can fill in any notable people that might have shown up.
You wouldn't have a comprehensive guest list or anything, but you'll have picked out a couple of people who said in their pedos recently, hey, going to this party, or hey, doing this, and you can guess and put together what's happening from that. Who's saying what they're doing, when, and who's saying they're going to the party. So the list you'll have will probably be a dozen and a half names. You certainly have at least humans, elf, dwarf. Finding an orc guy who's going might be a little bit harder. There's probably one tops.
Remember, orc-sploitation is big right now.
True, but they don't always go for the biggest parties. There is some extent to there is some extent to that happening, that the whole orc image being cool and whatnot, but they're still outnumbered in terms of human males inside the as lead actors.
All right, let's try and narrow it down to someone that has a pretty similar build to one of us, and ideally a pretty similar voice.
Well, we'll go ahead with just pure luck on whether someone's got a good build or something. We'll go ahead and just go me an edge roll. One will get you someone that wouldn't be a good choice, but you could try anyway. And, two will get you someone who's probably going to be an okay match and not famous, and you could maybe pass yourselves off as if you got lucky. Three will get you someone not very famous and that you can pass yourselves off as. And
Nope.
And what effect would spending a point of edge have here?
it'll be just the normal. You can add your edge to the roll, or the normal rules for edge.
Vice, you lucky son of a bitch.
Vice will notice.
When you said everything was coming up Vice earlier today, Jordan, this is what you actually meant.
Vice is going to a party.
We just found Vice a look-alike.
Vice will, Triody will notice that there's actually an orc who's an assistant to someone that's mentioning going to the party and doesn't seem to be particularly famous or anything like that. I mean, it's not going to be a perfect match, but a rough build, height seems to be everything. Sort of.
And I'll spend a point of edge on this as well.
Yeah, go ahead and roll it. I'm still waiting. Guys, secretary. Not secretary.
Oh my
assistant
gosh.
To
I think he's a dead ringer for someone. I mean, good grief.
Please don't get derailed. We're setting this orc assistant. My goodness, it's amazing.
Guys,
Yeah, no,
not
it's
exactly. Guys, not exactly who Vice is, but certainly,
It's totally the elven woman and her orc assistant, isn't it?
No, this one I actually have a better idea for that. Just give me a moment. Individual, sort of a flirty guy, seems to be the sort of assistant that wants to be famous, but doesn't have talent or anything in and of themselves, so they just sort of normal hanger on. You'll probably be able to pick them off and assume their identity. The only real threat will be, well, who their assistant to. You're going to have to figure out some way around that, because they'll almost certainly pick apart your disguise almost instantly. As for Twitch, she'll go ahead and get a call from Todd.
She'll answer.
Todd will say, hey, he's having a party and I know you're going to want to do some surveillance. And there's been one of the old guys that's wanted to get back in touch with you. And I noticed that he mentioned, along with a number of other invitations, to take you to a party that Charles is going to.
Really?
Yeah. Why? Was that a plan? I mean, it's the only thing I can see on his agenda that looks like it would be a good place to surveil him, and I know you'll want to do some legwork.
That actually sounds perfect. How about you give me the guy's number?
Certainly, and he'll forward that number.
Meanwhile, is it... Vice, I think I could, we could get that guy. I could crack his head open, feed you some info. Might be able to work.
Seems like a plan.
That guy will be not very famous, just rich, and he'll be an older, very scruffy-looking dwarf.
All right. And when Twitch hangs up her call, she'll say, I may have just gotten myself an invitation to the party.
Trissair will blink and look at Coyote, Vice, back to Twitch and say, oh, that was easy.
Yeah, no, you don't know. You don't even know the half of it.
You don't think he was listening to us here? Because we are just talking in the parking lot, right?
No, it was just pure luck. Edge... Twitch knows it was just pure luck.
No, it was just dumb
She
luck.
just felt the luck in her.
He's not that kind of paranoid. But hey, we could also hook Vice up with a pair of smart sunglasses, loaded up with some empathy software. Might help him bluff his way through some tough situations.
Yeah, who's his boss, or his tentative boss he'd be working for?
Just a, what would be the term? Someone that manages, well, a manager, someone that manages people's careers and B-list actors mostly, maybe an A-lister if they're lucky, but someone just low down that manages and does money stuff and hooks people up with jobs. Essentially the actor equivalent of a fixer.
So he's an agent.
Yes,
Like,
that's the
he's-
word I was looking for, an agent.
Right, I was just thinking that, I mean, if they're both going to the party, which I assume the agent would show up, it's going to have to be pretty good if Vice is going to pass himself off as the assistant to that guy, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was actually the agent that got an invitation, and you noticed, or Coyote noticed, on the feeds that the assistant mentioned going to it.
I mean, we could probably get him, knock him out, crack his head open, learn his secrets, or stay outside, feed you info, try to teach you as much as I can before you try to go in. It could work.
Yeah, I guess what we would have to do is get the assistant first, and he can just leave a message with the agent saying he's running late, and to leave word at the door or wherever you give your invitation that to let him in. And then he just won't ever talk to the agent himself once he's in the party. And if it doesn't go on too long, that should work, right?
That might be unseemly. We don't exactly know the rules by which one person can enter, especially since the assistant's not receiving the actual invite here. The assistant might actually have to show up with the guy in question. He might lose
That's
his job.
true. I'm just thinking in that case the risk might be too... It's up to you guys. I'm not... I have no idea what can be done with disguises and that type of thing.
Vice can handle himself. Worst case, he gets thrown out of the party, right? Assistant loses his job. It's not exactly gonna come back on us.
I mean, I don't know if my name is that famous around, Hollywood actors and parties like this, so they probably wouldn't know who I am, even if they found out I wasn't who I was.
You could just claim you're paparazzi or something silly like that. They might just take that on face value.
They probably would too.
Yeah, so they'd probably just toss me out on my ass, maybe rough me up a little. that'd be a bad choice for them, but...
And at the very least, I'll have to be running support for you just to feed you info in case I gets called up. If anything, you're actually going to be in there to support Twitch in case she needs anything, since she's apparently able to go as herself.
That does seem a little bit... Oh well. I'll be in there, Twitch, to make sure you don't, get too made.
I would actually appreciate that. You might also be able to lure away the bodyguards for a minute or two to give me a chance to dope him.
Now that would be the biggest curiosity. If you actually are going to going to be going in there as you, I mean,
or vice versa. I could give him the opening.
It's just, but there you go. They would be more attracted to attention from you. Like, what is she doing here? Like, they probably don't know you as the type who would go to such an event, and they would be most curious about that.
Right. Anyway, we could hook both of us up with the necessary tools to dope him. We'd need some sort of delay-released poison, something to make it absorb through the skin, and I don't know, some type of latex glove or something to keep from accidentally doping ourselves.
Okay, I have a question. I have a question about this poison. Do you know a person who we could get this poison from?
I might be able to get it from my doctor contact.
Might.
So, Truesayer clenches his fist. It's either that or I'd have to try to do a speedy look for it. I don't know anyone off the top of my head, and
I could ask around too.
Pressure situation, especially since I'm not familiar with these things, and I would not know exactly what to ask for.
Here, I'll actually call up my contact real quick, and Twitch will call the Fix-It Man.